I first learned about the Department of Children and Families when I received a call supposedly neglected the daughter, and they were reaching out to me, informing me of the 51A. When I received the call from DCF, I had no idea, absolutely zero idea of anything that DCF was able to do legally or illegally could do. What you don't know can definitely hurt you. Saying too much to DCF can 100% hurt you. As little as possible that you can say to DCF is the best way to go. They had interviewed me. I had kind of done some background research to see what was the next steps, what could happen. It was very intimidating and very scary knowing that somebody could potentially take my daughter for allegations. Without knowing the processes that DCF had in place, I started out as your typical blabbermouth and just giving them every information that they wanted to hear to make sure that I was protecting my daughter and showing that I was a good mother until I hired Attorney Seaver. If the Department of Children and Family took my daughter, I don't know how she would be today, where we have such an attachment bond. She can't even be away from me for more than one night, so I don't know how she would be today. She would be very distressed. I was researching, what the processes and policies for DCF were. I saw such bad things that they could do, and then I immediately started researching top DCF lawyers, and Attorney Seaver is the top DCF lawyer in the area. I immediately hired him. It was extremely important for me to make sure that I got the case closed and DCF out of my life as quickly as possible to relieve that stress not only on me, but my daughter as well, because the whole allegation and investigation actually didn't only impact me, but it was impacting my daughter with her anxiety as well. When I did reach out to Attorney Seaver, I was given all the key information of how to move forward with my visit that was planned for that day. And then I got into a payment plan with Attorney Seaver and was able to affordably hire him without the stress of money and the confidence of keeping my daughter. If you are currently involved in the Department of Children and Families and you are worried about hiring Attorney Seaver due to the cost on the nightmare that you'll deal with DCF without Attorney Seaver representing you, going into it, I was unsure if I was going to be able to make do with it, but Attorney Seaver was extremely helpful in making sure I had a payment plan, making sure that there was going to be an affordable rate based upon my financial situation and protecting myself and my family. I read through all the reviews on Attorney Seaver, 90% of them, to see exactly what would be done, if it was going to be worth it for me. Going through Attorney Seaver's reviews, I saw that he had over 600 reviews and there was a 4.9 star rating, and every situation was fairly similar in the way that DCF was, bullying people, harassing people in the beginning. And as soon as Attorney Seaver stepped in, that was the end of that. And they had to follow all policies, and DCF was in their lives and out of their lives as quick as possible. I had called a couple of attorneys before I hired Attorney Seaver. I had left multiple messages, never received any type of call back. Upon reviewing attorneys to hire for my DCF case, I noticed all these other attorneys specialize in multiple different law. Researching Attorney Seaver, I realized he specializes only in DCF. During my research for Attorney Seaver, I did find that the reviews on other attorneys were kind of just a blah. I did see multiple reviews that Attorney Seaver always came up with a plan and was confident going into meetings. Once I hired him, I could 100% relate to that. There was always a plan going into meetings. I was restless, anxious during the whole investigation, but I was also confident knowing that I had Attorney Seaver to represent me during every meeting. Even without the meetings, having any type of social worker that reached out to me directly reach out to Attorney Seaver to contact them. During the whole investigation, Attorney Seaver made sure that I did not lose my child, going through multiple meetings with me, making sure he was present during all meetings. Attorney Seaver was available at any hour for me to reach out to him, or frankly, I could call them on the weekends, I could text them on the weekends. There was immediate responses. During the meetings, all procedures and policies had to be followed by DCF with Attorney Seaver present. If Attorney Seaver felt something was inappropriate or there was a policy being broken, he immediately stepped in and did not let DCF go forward with any of those questionings. During our consultations and during our phone calls, preparing for DCF meetings, Attorney Seaver always made sure he talked to my daughter as well to make sure that she was extremely comfortable. During all of the meetings prior to the visits, he would make sure he spoke to my daughter and gave her all the self-confidence that everything would be okay, and that prepared her very well for all meetings, and she was the shining star during all of them. Before, during, and after all visits, Attorney Seaver made sure that he spoke to my daughter to make sure that she was comfortable. He also made sure that he called in on the weekends, holidays, and time off to just check in on my daughter and also say a quick hello to make sure she was comfortable with him, to the point that my daughter was always asking about Attorney Seaver. Attorney Seaver was extremely kind and courteous and respectful of DCF during every visit, every virtual visit that we had. Attorney Seaver received all written documentation from the beginning of the investigation until the end that was needed. We received release forms and sent over the correct release forms, so nothing could be violated on my end. There could be nothing violated during any part of the investigation. During the investigation, Attorney Seaver made sure I was prepped with all types of questions that DCF was going to ask, so I went into those meetings comfortable and confident that I would not lose my child. He made sure also that my daughter was comfortable and confident during those meetings, being present with me. She was always well prepared and told never to lie, be completely honest with DCF, keep my daughter with me, get DCF in my life, out of my life, regardless of how difficult that process was with them. And I went into everything confident, and I am now happily living without DCF in my life. When I see the words Law Office Kevin Seaver, I think relief, I think confidence, I think reliability, I think compassion, and I think amazing. I just think I could think of 1,000,005 different words to describe the Law Office of Attorney Seaver, where he was able to successfully get DCF in my life, out of my life as quickly as possible, and able to answer any question I had and protect me in every way possible. I'm extremely knowledgeable, again, knows the in and outs on that. That's extremely helpful, that is his main focus. Attorney Seaver only focuses on DCF. Hiring Attorney Seaver is the best choice based upon all of his knowledge. He is an expert against DCF. He knows the ins and outs of DCF and makes sure that DCF is following everything as possible. If DCF had taken my child, I don't know where I would be today. I would be in a very depressed state because my daughter is my world. In my case, Attorney Seaver was able to get DCF in my life and out of my life as quickly as possible, even though DCF did want to play games. If you ever find yourself involved in the Department of Children and Family, definitely make one phone call and one phone call only, and that's to Attorney Seaver, the specialist on DCF, and getting them in your life and out of your life as quickly as possible. Now that DCF is out of my life, I can finally rest easy and know that my daughter is safely with me and not up against DCF any longer.